What's going on, y'all? Hollywood Divas season 3 episode reunion part 2, the fucking final part. Cause I'm tired of this shit, y'all. It was so draining and stuff to look at it. And really much didn't even happen on the freaking episode. Okay, we had Countess. Y'all know I'm gonna go in on something, but we had Countess. It left off. It picked up where it left off last week. Countess crying over what was going on, being hurt and all this stuff. Walking away. Lisa going in the back. Trying to talk to her and all that stuff. And of course, they talking shit about her in the front. But Countess was saying she just tired of fucking Golden going in on her. Golden, you want to get all upset. You want to get all in your huff and puff. And let me put this out here. It was Paula because I had to go back and look. I didn't see who said it, like I said. So it was Paula who said the thing about the boy jail last week. But either way, moving on from that, the fact is they played the clips of, Golden going in on Countess. Golden, I can't sit here and see how you can call yourself a friend to Countess and say that you're looking out for her and you doing this and you doing that and that you love her, but you always going in on her. You have been the most judgmental person of Countess on this whole season. No, on this whole show since the series began, since day one. Okay, you've been coming from her for her neck or lack thereof since day fucking one. You talked about her weight. You talked about what she eat. You talked about, the fact that she's doing this lipo. You talked about the people that's in her life. Baby, you only known her for 3 years on, a personal level, okay? To be quite honest, for you to compare and to go in about, and any of us to go in about how long Countess has been around Savannah, that's kind of fucked up because you don't know. You're not close friends with Countess to say that she's only known Savannah for a certain amount of time. To be quite honest, she probably known Savannah way longer than you knew her, and this is just her first time being on the show. She could have been a good girlfriend back in the way day, and they just didn't put her on the show yet, And so you don't know that. And so for you to assume that and say, well, this person is rubbing off on you and this is why you acting like this and all this stuff, and then, Countess, she was being a little childish or whatever, not saying nothing, but then at one point in time, she was trying to say something, and Golden just kept on being loud and going in and speak up and do this and grow up. You're childish and I'm not doing this and I love you and all this stuff. And I'm sitting here like, you want her to say something. But then when she get ready to say something, even if she and Countess, what was the fuck the point of the mumbling under the breath? That was your opportunity to go the fuck off on that bitch, just like you did at the table to Carmen, okay? Just like you did the other time you went off on her. That was your opportunity to go in. And I understand that there are a lot of people who are like Countess in the sense that, you're non-confrontational for the most part. And then when it's time to confront, you kind of shy away a little bit until it bubbles over. You need to work on that. You really need to work on that because when you get that opportunity to go in, just the fuck go in, especially on a bitch like Golden, okay? She was asking you to go in. She was hollering. You weren't giving her the reaction that she wanted. So that's why she kept on doing what the fuck she was doing. And bitch, you just made yourself look dumb. And I'm talking about Golden, okay? You up here talking about telling the Countess stop acting like a child and all this stuff, but you the one throwing a temper tantrum just like Countess said, okay? You standing up, you putting on the show and all this stuff. Countess wasn't even giving you all that. You talking over her when she finally gets ready to speak. No, you be quiet because I don't want to hear your voice. Your voice disgusts me. Like, who does that? But y'all friends. That's your good girlfriend, right? No, stop playing. I just, Golden, you are such a hypocritical human being, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, some of your actions come off as bitterness, as jealousy, as envy, as a lot of stuff. And it's like, are you really happy with your life? Because if you are, I wouldn't do that to my friend. I wouldn't do that to my friend if that was really my friend. I don't care if I known you for 2 seconds. I wouldn't do that to a person. Like, what? What happened to just sitting down having a normal conversation? But because the camera's there and it's an audience, let me amp up, let me make my staple known and shit like that. My voice heard so everybody can know to look out for me next season and shit like that. Girl, whatever. I just didn't care for that. Then, Lisa, she not really talking to Jensen Aniston no more like that. They cool. She fucking around with somebody else, but she won't say. They go in and talk about Golden and her losing her job and stuff like that on the The table read. Somebody want to put up in my comments. She wasn't fired. She was recast. Baby, let me tell you something. Recast, fired, same thing. Same thing in this fucking industry business, because you know what? She don't have the job anymore. Okay? The reason why she was fired or recast may be different, may make a difference, but she don't have the job anymore. So technically you're fired, no matter which way or how you want to put that shit. Okay? She was replaced. She don't have that job. She's not working on that, and she's not working on anything else at the moment that she want to tell us. Okay? So that's exactly what it meant. Fire, recast. You ain't recast to another role. You got recast and replaced by somebody else, but you ain't get recast to another role. I'm just saying. All right. So, she was talking about that. You did all that stuff. And did y'all see how she tried to cry when she was going in on Countess? Like when Carlos was trying to talk to her, and then she wanna have that moment. Like, bitch, you just went in on her. Now you wanna make it about you and try to cry, get some sympathy, and then you wanna try to cry about, the stuff that was going on with you and your table read and all that stuff. I understood where she was coming from about that, but girl, it just, she just pissed me off to the point that I really didn't care what was being said out of her mouth at that point in time. You lost your job, you move on. You shouldn't have spoke on it, and that's what you learned. Good for you. She tried to go in on Forrest because Forrest called her, I guess, Kermit the Frog or whatever. And then Forrest tried to say, this whole season y'all went in on me and I never really said anything about you guys. And the Countess was like, no. You was talking about me, my $3,000, $30,000 surgery, me cramming burgers down my throat, all this stuff, And I was like, yeah, Forrest, you can't really deny that shit because, it's all on tape. Bitch, Paula sat there and let them talk to her man like that. I was I was shocked because Paula usually be super safe for her when it comes. You're not finna talk about mines when I'm right here. You're not finna do that. That's what you won't do. But she just said that. I really do think Paula was faded that whole reunion show because she was just too calm for me. It was eerie a little bit. At one point, go back to when Golden was talking to Countess, going in on Countess at the beginning of the episode, when she was talking about how you let you went in on Savannah, you let Savannah go in on Malika or whoever so hard, and you didn't even say nothing and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, Malika let you go in on her best friend and she didn't say nothing either. So what are you trying to say? Then gonna try to compare the way that Countess is handling her issues with Golden to the fact that there are black men being killed out here. I said, bitch, wait a minute. And just like Golden said, there go your go-to. Countess said, there go your go-to. I was like, where the fuck did that come in at? I was confused as hell. I said, you can't compare apples and oranges. And baby, you compare apple, oranges, grapes, and bananas all together. And I was sitting here like, I'm still trying to see the connection, what you're talking about. I understand you're trying to say it's more important things, but no, girl, okay? Her issue is with you, all right? That's what it is, okay? And you know this, and it's thing from season fucking 1, okay? And you can't own up to it, bitch. But, moving on from that, what was the other big issue? Okay, Carmen came out there. They was talking about, and I'm surprised that they didn't even touch on the situation with Carmen and, I'm surprised they didn't even touch on the situation with Carmen and what's her face, Savannah. Which, to be quite honest, I'm glad they didn't because I was tired of seeing about them. It was bad enough that both of them were still sitting on that couch on the stage when this episode came back on. But they talked about basically Carmen called Golden out and said, you like to talk up for other people, okay? You like to make other people's issues your issues, and that's exactly what she did, all right? You want to complain about, it's being too soon, or Lisa saying it being too soon that you came out with certain stuff, and you was making jokes about people's personal life and stuff like that, and, of course, Paula had a thing in it because Paula said, just don't go in on me, that's not being a real friend, and all this stuff, and you talking about Malika, and you talking about this. Golden, you went on this whole rant against Carmen, and see, I have to stand up for Carmen on this part because Carmen was doing what a comedian does, okay? Comedians don't get fucking permission from people to go in. Oh, can I say this? Is it cool? Is it that? You got comedians who are very, very good friends with other comedians who will go in on that comedian that is their friend, and they will still be friends and be laughing their ass off at the shit that they say, okay? And I guess Golden really wasn't getting that. because that's what Carmen was trying to do. But the only thing is, Carmen wasn't funny with her jokes, but she didn't do nothing out of the aspect or the realm of what comedians do. Okay, they go in on people regardless of if you're there or you're not, and that's exactly what she did. Okay, either you can take it or you can't, and obviously you're sensitive and you couldn't take it. They asked Malika, did she feel offended, and she said no. She said, but I understood why Golden did what she did, but I wasn't offended by anything, and even Countess, she may have said something a little bit, but she really wasn't all that offended like that. They should just blew up out the blue for no fucking reason, if you ask me. Okay, I was just sitting there like, Golden has no business. That's basically what it came down to. The other aspect of this reunion, Paula. Paula wants y'all to suck her click, okay? Ah, suck my click, bitch. Suck my click. Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for the fact that Paula was lip syncing so bad and that I had to look and see, I was literally about to ask, is she out there performing? Is it just supposed to be a dance performance, or is she, she dancing to her track? Or do she really supposed to be out there rapping? Because it took me a second to realize that she had a mic on right here. A cordless mic on, a wireless mic on. I'm sitting here like, oh, but she wasn't lip syncing right, okay? And like I said, Paula was lifted that whole reunion show, And Forrest was the DJ. Pause. Go back to when Golden tried to go in on Forrest, and she was like, bitch, you up here talking about me doing table reads and stuff like that. That is what happens in Hollywood, and it don't matter what age it is, which is true, okay? Let's not act like I don't have jobs coming up, and let's not act like you've been working forever, because you have not. The first time you started working was when this show came back on and your wife put you on, and she was like, let's not forget that you just came out of a hotel, okay? And you can go back to a hotel. You're 2 rent checks away from going back to a hotel. Bitch, when she said that, that's really when I poked up and I said, Paula, you ain't gonna say shit. That's how I knew Paula was on some stuff, okay? Paula was just faded like, it is what it is. I'm finna get my ass out here and perform and act the fool. Paula did what she thought she was doing, It wasn't terrible, but I wish Carlos King would stop being in the audience. Yes. And I was like, no, girl. No. Okay. And so after that, maybe I need to listen to the song, and the song probably will sell it to me, but that performance didn't do nothing for me. But, at least she got confidence, and at least she, believe in what she doing. And I do agree with the message that she was talking about. They was talking about the song being nasty and all this shit, because she talking about some, lick my click and all that stuff. Why a woman can't come out and say some shit like that when niggas been coming out saying suck my dick all this time? We can't be proud of our genitalia just like y'all. We want some service too, nigga. That's what I'm saying. I said, right on, Paula. All right, you been smoking them trees, and it opened up your mind to a lot of stuff, right? Huh? I understand. I've been there, But that was basically it about the episode and the reunion. Malika, she's still on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Golden claims she's in some stuff. Y'all know Paula just got killed on Ray Donovan. Spoiler alert, she just got killed on Ray Donovan this past episode, if you haven't seen it. So she's off that show. But she said she got some more stuff coming up. Lisa, she got some stuff coming up. She said some TV anime movies and a movie coming out in the movies. And I know she said something about working with Loretta Devine. I guess that's a big thing, because Loretta Devine is the shit. Then Countess, girl, she got engaged. They might be getting married next year. Now let's, I deliberately say this for the last. And I was going to wait because I seen the video. I know. I seen the video. And I could see why Paula just pointed out the fact that it was cute that she wanted her little ass out at the end. Because we were not ready for that. We were not. The way they was hyping up this video for Wifey, which is Does He Love You Now? Or something like that. Girl, they hyped that shit up like it was going to be the best thing ever. Like Lisa did her motherfucking thing. Let me tell you something. Lisa was out there, trying to look after Countess and do all this stuff, and I understand why not. She was making up for the fact that she made a trash ass video for her. That's what she was doing. She really was, because if you was really about your shit and y'all really went through the editing process and you really said, let's go ahead and keep the camera putting all up in her face and needs facial expressions and all this stuff and putting it in slow-mo and having the camera so far and doing all this shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck was this shit, bitch? I just don't understand it. And then gonna come out trying to say, this the edited version, gonna put out another version saying it's the edited version and see what you can do when there's no budget. Bitch, I can do a whole lot better on my with my camera and editing this shit on my iMovie. Okay? What are you talking about? You know, you supposed to be a producer and all this shit, and a director or whatever. You should know about angles. Okay? You could have had somebody from YouTube do it. All right? We could have hooked that shit up for you. You know what I'm saying? Did you really have no budget? Like, who did this? And Countess, you approved this shit, bitch? You approved this shit? Like, I just don't get it. Like, y'all put stuff out here deliberately to make yourself look a fool. And I guess it's just so people can talk about it, whether it's good or bad. You know, you want people to talk about it. You want the press. You want, you know, your name to be out there. Because now, you know, Monica got the So Gone challenge going on. Countess got the You Love Me challenge going on. No, the wifey challenge. We don't care about that shit, bitch. Stop it. You need to redo the video, okay? Because both videos were trash. I mean, the last one was better than the first one, but they both was trash. I just wasn't here for it. I y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. Girl, I have no more energy to give to this. I am about to go watch Greenleaf, okay? The new What It Is video is already up. Y'all want to watch that too. In the meantime, in between time, I will see you guys later. Peace.